Navigation displays are located on the captain's and first officer's instrument panels. The ND information is generated from information received from an EFIS ICAS Interface Unit, EIU, a Flight Management Computer, FMC, an FMS CDU, and the weather radar. The ND displays information used for navigation. Each ND presentation is controlled by an EFIS control panel. The EFIS control panels are located on the glare shield. The left EFIS control panel controls the captain's ND, and the right panel controls the first officer's ND. There are two types of ND displays, the expanded and full compass rose displays. The expanded compass rose display displays an 80-degree compass arc near the top and the airplane symbol on the bottom. The full compass rose display displays a full 360-degree compass rose with the airplane symbol located in the center of the rose. The ND mode selector on the EFIS control panel is used to select the desired mode. Pressing the center CTR switch selects between the expanded and full compass rose displays. The expanded compass rose displays are the approach, VOR, map, and plan modes. The full compass rose displays are the approach centered, VOR centered, and map centered modes. There is no plan centered mode. Indications common to most ND modes will be discussed first, then each mode will be examined. Current ground speed is located in the upper left corner of each ND mode. True airspeed is displayed to the right of ground speed when true airspeed is greater than 100 knots. Wind bearing and speed are located just below ground speed. Wind direction, with respect to display orientation and heading reference, is also displayed. If wind speed is less than 5 knots, wind information is not displayed. The upper right portion of the ND displays approach, VOR, or next waypoint information. Approach information consists of the approach receiver selected, receiver identifier or frequency, selected runway course, and distance to the receiver. This is displayed in the approach modes. VOR information consists of the VOR receiver selected, receiver identifier or frequency, selected course, and distance to the receiver. This is displayed in the VOR modes. The next waypoint identifier, time of crossing, and distance to the waypoint are displayed in the map or plan modes.
Current track is displayed at the top center of the CRT in an open-top white box. TRK, track in green, is enunciated to the left of the box, and the track reference, magnetic MAG or true, is enunciated in green to the right of the box.
The true enunciation is displayed in a white box. When changing to magnetic, the white box turns green for 10 seconds, then is no longer displayed.
Current track is displayed by the present track line, or a track indicator on the compass rose. A heading up display is pictured. Atlas has selected a track up display for their aircraft, so track will show on the left of the numerical box, and the track line will always be at 12 o'clock. The track line also displays range values. The ND range selector can select ranges from 5 to 640 nautical miles. This nav display shows 320-mile range. The selected heading indicator reflects the heading manually selected on the mode control panel by one of the pilots.
Weather can be displayed on the ND. This is discussed in weather radar. VOR and ADF information can be displayed when selected on the EFIS control panel. The lower left corner of the CRT displays the left VOR or ADF information. The lower right corner displays the right VOR or ADF information. VOR information is displayed in green, ADF information is displayed in blue. The VOR or ADF pointers are also displayed on the compass rose. The left pointer is the thin pointer. The right pointer is the wider pointer. Now let's review some displays. Approach modes have localizer and glide slope deviation indications. Localizer and deviation is displayed with reference to the airplane symbol. A magenta bar indicates localizer position relative to the airplane. Glide slope and deviation is displayed on the right side of the displays. A diamond indicates glide slope position relative to the airplane. There are two airplane symbols. The actual airplane location is identified by the blue arrow. These are typical approach and approach-centered displays. The VOR modes have a course deviation indication. Course deviation is displayed with reference to the airplane symbol. A magenta bar indicates course position relative to the airplane. The VOR modes also have to from indications. To or from is displayed. The VOR centered mode also displays a to from arrow near the airplane symbol. These are typical VOR and VOR centered displays. The map modes present a dynamic flight management computer map relative to current airplane position. The plan mode displays a static, true north up route depiction. Let's review additional symbols used for these displays. The origin and destination airports are displayed in white. The symbol depends on the ND range selected. Other airports are displayed in blue. Active route is displayed as a magenta line. Modifications to the active route are displayed as a dashed white line. Inactive routes are displayed as dashed blue lines. Holding patterns or procedure turns can also be displayed. An offset path is represented by a dashed line. Waypoints are designated as active, inactive, or off route waypoints. An active waypoint is the waypoint the airplane is currently navigating to. It is magenta. Inactive waypoints are the other waypoints making up the route. They are white. Off-route waypoints are database waypoints not on the route. They are blue. The waypoint identifier is also displayed. The VOR, DME TACAN, and VOR-TAC station symbols are as shown. Two Navaids are displayed green, others are displayed blue. NDBs are displayed in blue. A point selected on the FMS CDU fix page is identified by a green circle around the selected reference point. Airports, waypoints, or Navaids can be used. This is covered in standby navigation. This is a typical plan mode display. There is no plan-centered mode. A trend vector is displayed in the map modes. The segments predict the airplane's directional trend at the end of 30, 60, and 90 seconds based on bank angle and ground speed. The number of trend vector segments displayed depends on the ND scale selected. An altitude range arc predicts where the reference altitude will be reached based on current vertical speed and ground speed. Top of climb, step climb, top of descent, or end of descent are FMC calculated points displayed along the route. Deceleration points are also displayed but do not have identifiers. These always represent the start and end points of the deceleration to 240 knots at 10,000 feet. Vertical path is displayed in a descent to indicate deviation from the selected vertical path. Full-scale deflection is 400 feet with a digital readout above or below the scale to 9,999 feet. The airplane is located at the center of the scale, and the diamond depicts the vertical path. Energy management circles display drag and clean idle descent ranges. The clean range is in blue, and the speed brake range is in white. These are covered in VNAV.
The navigation radio status for FMC position updating is displayed as VD for VOR DME, DD for DME DME, or L for localizer, depending on which radios the FMC has tuned for position updating.
The IRS updating status is displayed below the FMC radio update status. IRS 3, left, center, or right can be displayed.
Finally, these are typical map mode displays. Different situations are shown for comparison.
Let's now examine the rest of the EFIS control panel. Map switches allow additional information to be displayed on the ND. Weather radar returns are displayed when selected. Navigation stations are displayed when selected. Low-altitude Navaids are displayed when the ND range is 40 nautical miles or less. High-altitude Navaids are displayed when the ND range is 80 nautical miles or greater. Station is displayed on the left side of the ND to indicate selection. Waypoints in the database are displayed when selected, if the ND range is 40 nautical miles or less. Waypoint is displayed on the left of the ND to indicate selection. Suitable airports in the database are displayed when selected. Airport is displayed on the left side of the ND to indicate selection. FMC altitude and waypoint estimated time of arrival are displayed under the waypoint identifier when data is selected.
When position is selected, the IRS positions are displayed by white stars. The GPS positions are displayed by a circle between two reverse arrows. When they are co-located, only one symbol is shown. Raw data radio and distance to the tuned stations are also displayed.
Position map switch allows raw data radial and distance to be compared to the FMC calculated Navaid position.
Let's review again some typical displays.
The approach and approach-centered modes are shown. Across the top of these modes are ground speed, true airspeed, wind, current heading, and heading reference, and ILS information. Localizer and glide slope deviation are also displayed. These are the VOR and VOR-centered modes. Ground speed, true airspeed, wind, current heading, and heading reference, and VOR information are displayed across the top. Course deviation is also displayed. The map and map-centered modes display an FMC-generated map relative to airplane position. The route, waypoints, and Navaids are displayed. VOR or ADF information is displayed in the lower corners when selected. FMC radio updating and IRS updating are also displayed in the lower right corner of the map mode displays.
This is a typical plan mode display. It displays a true north up static route depiction.
When no computed information is received, numeric information is replaced by dashes, or the indicator is removed. Loss of valid information removes the affected symbol and displays an appropriate failure flag. These flags are associated with the approach and VOR modes. The location may vary depending if expanded or centered is selected. The flags are for heading, ADF left and right, and VOR or localizer.
These flags are associated with the map modes. The location may vary depending if expanded or centered is selected. The flags are heading, ADF and VOR left and right, DME left and right, vertical track, and map for the FMC generated map display. Question. Answer B is correct. Question. Answer B is correct. Question. Answer B is correct. Current heading is displayed at the top center of the ND's cathode ray tube in a box. Heading or track is enunciated to the left of the box. The heading reference, magnetic or true, is located to the right of the box. Question. Answer B is correct. Question. Answer B is correct.
The track line also displays range values. The ND range selector can select ranges from 5 to 640 nautical miles.